Hey y'all, it's Mamaw, and I'm off the porch this evening because it's getting awful cold out. This is just something I hadn't thought of when we started the Mamaw's porch. Anyway, in watching how the taco has just taken it upon himself to lie again, shock, where he said earlier this summer he would never tear down the East Wing. It was going to be just part of his new throne room. Well, he lied. They're tearing it down, just like he's tearing down this country, piece at a time. So I thought I'd kind of remind Mikey Johnson exactly what's going on here, because apparently the taco thinks our Treasury Department is his own personal slush fund. So again, in the Constitution, Section 7, all bills for raising revenue shall originate in the House of Representatives. The taco took it upon himself just to tariff everybody to his heart's content. Nowhere could I find that Congress approved that. Then under Section 8, it is Congress's duty to borrow money on the credit of the United States and to regulate the commerce with foreign nations and among states and with Indian tribes. Doesn't say the taco gets to do that in the presidency. Then, let me see, this is a long section. Under Section 2, it reads that the taco, the president, I forgot, shall have the power by and with the advice and consent of the Senate to make treaties and provide 2/3 of the senators present concur. So there again, all these big peace treaties he's made and stuff, he doesn't have the authority to do that. He doesn't have the authority to make any kind of treaty, including a trade treaty, without the consent of the Senate. So, come on, taco, let's get out. Let's just get out of it. Then, under the amendments, Amendment 16, Congress shall have the power to lay and collect taxes on incomes from whatever source derived without apportionment among several states and without regard to census or enumeration. So, what Mikey's done is he has, on his own, allowed the taco to say, we're doing away with taxing the rich when Congress is supposed to do it. So the big bullshit bill they put out was actually just, okay, taco, what do you want to do? And now we're going to have to live with it. So I got problems looking at everything that the taco's doing with the White House. And I question who voted to approve him tearing down the East Wing. And I want to see it in writing and signed off by Congress. Period. You cannot make these major altercations to the People's House without Congress's approval. He also covered over the Rose Garden and made a damn patio out of it. He's gilded the Oval Office. Hell, Nancy Reagan had to get permission to buy new china. So what in the hell's going on with all of this? And he says he's doing it with corporate donations of $300 million. We all know that a marble-clad exterior on a 90,000 square foot addition is going to be way over $3 million. So where's the rest of that money going to come from? And for you corporations out of there, instead of donating to Kiss the Taco's ass, how about we set up shelters or food pantries or help people get jobs in your corporations where you're hoarding up enough money that you can make those kinds of donations? How about that? I want to know how he got a $300 million in donations. Where'd the money come from for Kristi Noem's $2 million for buying these airplanes, or 200 million, excuse me, 200 million to buy 2 airplanes for a low-level cabinet secretary so she can fly around looking like Barbie and playing cosplay? Where'd that money come from? Who did you take from to give to Kristi Noem? I want to know where the $5 to $10 million a week is coming from for his golf trips. Where are we reappropriating money for that? And who gave permission to the Treasury to allow him to put his hands in the coffers? Who allocated that he could make these expensive trips at his whim at our expense? These are things we need to start demanding of little old Mikey Johnson. $1 billion has been reallocated from where? To refit the free plane from Qatar. Where did that money come from? Who gave permission for that? Show me the documentation where Congress approved that. He wants to be repaid $230 million because the government dared to charge him legally with crimes and misdemeanors, high crimes and misdemeanors. Okay, you ended up getting to be the president a second time and made millions and millions and millions of dollars in your re-election campaign by selling them shirts, "I voted for the felon." Remember that, people? This is what you get when you put a criminal in the White House. They think our Treasury is their damn slush fund. And then where did he get the approval? Because remember, I already read you, only Congress can ship money out and give approvals. So who gave him the approval, since Congress has been on recess since mid-September, to give Argentina $40 billion to the detriment of our own farmers? Where's the congressional approval? Because they can't go back and retro approve it. Where's it at, Mikey? Well, you doing your job. So, the final question is, where in the documentation anywhere did Congress usurp their own authority and give Taco the authority to impose tariffs? I'm waiting. Anybody? Anybody know? Yeah, that's what I thought. He has got an illegal game going on, playing with our treasury, just like any dictator that takes over a country does. They go in and the first thing they do is them and their oligarchs rob the treasury. And we're supposed to keep coughing up money. We're supposed to pay taxes while the oligarchs get off scot-free, and he thinks it's his personal play money to be gaudy with the people's house, while the very people who help operate that house have been laid off, have been furloughed at no pay, and he is so tone deaf he doesn't care. Kind of reminds you of Nero's fiddling while Rome burns. That's all I got to say tonight. Stay salty, and let's really start using these outside voices, because enough is enough. Bye-bye.